Did you know that Mashramani actually got started right here in Linden? Now, just in case you didn't, it was started right here. The parade actually got started right here at the Christianburg Community Center ground.
Oh yeah, yeah, na na na. Hey. Let's go. Can't believe it. Travel over land and overseas. Never seen no one like you. What I mean is, you stole my heart from the day I met you. Oh gosh, can't get over you. No, when they ask me, yeah, where you from? You look so appealing. Hey.
The people who brought about Mashramani, or the organization brought about Mashramani, is the JCs of Mackenzie, a group of people who came together to bring about Mashramani. Jimmy Hamilton, he was the chairman of the group, the JCs group. Then they had Mr. Haynes, you had many different people. They had J. Adams, Nick Adams. Some of you might have heard of the name Nick Adams. You have Eileen Bowen, this Kashif mother, Greg Charles' mother, and there are many other people. Most of the celebration, or the beginning of the celebration, used to start at Christianburg. And we would tramp or gyrate, as people would say, from Christianburg to Mackenzie Sports Club. And there were different places we used to stop. We used to stop at the place named the Benab. That's not too far from the Retrieve Nursery School. It was the Benab day where people used to go and they would sport until the following morning. And then they would go home. And then they would continue the next night. And it would continue until the Mashramani celebration come to an end. In my time, I'm talking about 1970, 71, 72, Demo was there in Mashramani. And they had exhibits. They would have had the plant on a long base vehicle, showing different sections of the Denver Bar Basket Company. They would have had the aluminum plant on a truck, you know, a model displaying, you know, what we had in Linden. The first set of Mashramani, they weren't bands, they were steel bands. Now we have the big music boxes, but in those days it was steel bands or steel pans. That's steel pan competitions and all of that.
Charge up, so come my religion. Come make we warm up. Charge up, so come my religion. I'm feeling myself again in the band. Masqueraders bouncing everywhere, every year. I'll be there. Whether rain or sun, it won't change my mind. So I went up, push it back, get ready for the bacchanal. When you see me dancing, don't you even tell. Give me soca, 'cause I'm less sober. It's my religion, I behaving bad, so everybody get wild. So somebody with water, spray somebody with faith. Take off your clothes, create a bacchanal. So somebody with water, spray somebody with faith. Take off your clothes, create a bacchanal.
We cannot talk about Mashramani without mentioning the evolution of costumes. Costumes featured in the very first parade right here in Linden. From the use of straw and bag-like materials to the use of more complex and sophisticated ways of constructing the very things that we hold dear to us as part of the parades.
I remember talking to Winfield James, and he would share ideas of back in the days how they used to make costumes in terms of making sequins out of bottle corks and fabric and making their own sequins. I mean, that was back then. I figured back then MASH had time. MASH was more dominant than compared to now. For example, we have MASH in 2 weeks, and now you're getting bands, so you have to finish a band within 2 weeks. When you want to do those intricate details, it's hard to have that all that done within 2 weeks because it takes time. Even as simple as some costumes are, it takes a lot of time to put together. And I think that's where our challenge is right now because it's time span. I mean, if we're given a little bit more time, if we can do what we do in such a short time, imagine if we had a little bit more time.
Over the years, we've seen the evolution of the song competitions, the competitions which have received much needed investment from private sector and government by extension. Now, the calypso and soca competitions have become highly competitive over the years. They've grown in stature, the prize monies have increased, and of course, competitors continue to vie for the coveted crown of monarch.
In 2004, it was only supposed to be for 2 or 3 years. We said we were going to hold the competition. But we did it from 2004 until 2010. In 2011, there was no competition because that year Banks had their groovy competition. So we allowed them to go on with that. And then we came back in 2012 until 2015. No competition in 16, 17. Came back 18 until current. What the competition has done, in my estimation, is brought more the young people to the fore. Every single soca monarch or every single soca artist that has made a name for themselves has come through the Carib Soca Monarch. Before the Carib Soca Monarch, of course, over the years it's evolved, but before the Soca Monarch, the music, and everybody can attest to it, the music wasn't of any particular standard or quality, if you want to put it that way. In my opinion, it really couldn't stand up to international scrutiny. But we're there now. We've brought out some fantastic performers over the year. Most of the artists that you know as artists now in the soca genre came through the Soca Monarch. So we have been making that contribution. The brand Carib and 592 has made the contribution to not just the culture, but to the people and to the art form. And of course, to Mashramani. So over the years, the music, apart from the music, the contribution has been there.
I think like the Guyanese community, the society, we need to take more ownership of the festival and recognize that this is our festival. It's a festival that showcases our culture, our traditional culture. It's different from, like, let's say, Carnival. It's more of a traditional cultural festival. It's a time where you get to see masquerade in its full glory. You get to see steel pan, you get to see calypso, you get to see soca, you get to see chutney. And something that a lot of people don't know, chutney originated in Guyana. So, chutney music originated in Guyana, and I think it was allowed to flourish and grow through the Mashramani festival and the Mashramani competitions, which continues to provide a space for new entrants into the various fields, the various art forms.
Now, as Mashramani, this amazing festival we all love and enjoy, continues to evolve, one thing is for certain: it will always truly remain uniquely Guyanese.